Peace prayer activities take place at the Bali Bombing Memorial tomorrow, October 12th. And tourists continue to flood into Indonesia. Stay tuned for details. Welcome to the latest news from Bali in Indonesia. This is October 11th, 2023, and my name is Bruce. Selamat malam. It is 10:30 at night. I'm not usually doing night ones, but today I'm doing a night one, so I can get this out early tomorrow morning. It is 29 degrees Celsius. The weather right now at 10:30, 71% humidity, 2.4 kilometers per hour wind speed. And busy as always. Still getting ready for the rainy season to come. But what have we got today? Let's get into it. Peace prayer at Ground Zero. Jalan Legian, Kuta, totally closed. This is the alternative route. So tomorrow, October 12th, is the 21st anniversary of the Bali bombing. So there are going to be some peace prayers taking place at Ground Zero or at the Bali Bombing Memorial. So, road access to the Bali Bombing Memorial or Ground Zero on Jalan Raya Legian, Kuta, Bali will be completely closed on Thursday afternoon. This closure will be carried out to facilitate the peace prayer activities, which will be held from 4 o'clock in the afternoon until 8 o'clock in the evening. Chairman of the Kuta Empowerment Institute, Putu Adiana, said the traffic diversion will be carried out starting at 4 o'clock. Traffic flow from the direction of Jalan Majapahit and the direction of Denpasar, which will go to Jalan Raya Legian, Kuta via Jalan Pati Jalantik, will be diverted to Jalan Benasari and Jalan Patimura. Total closure of Jalan Raya Legian, Kuta will be carried out from the intersection of Jalan Legian, Jalan Patimura, and Jalan Benasari. Apart from that, other closed access roads are Jalan Papis 1 and Gang Samuan 3. Only those who are allowed to pass through this road are invited. At 1600 Wita, we have sterilized the road and continue with group prayer activities. After 8 o'clock, we will open traffic again, said Adjana. His party has disseminated information through social media and conducted outreach to local residents regarding the direction and diversion of traffic flow. Apart from that, LPM Kuta also asked cafe owners near the monument to turn down the music during the activity. Hopefully they'll turn it off during the activity. He said, "Let us follow the changes in traffic flow so that prayers promoting peace can run smoothly. We apologize for the inconvenience and ask for your permission to take another alternative route." Hard to believe it's been 21 years. And so, if you want to take part in remembrance of the victims of the first Bali bombing, happens tomorrow starting at 4 o'clock. And Bali, of course, recovered, and we have more and more tourists coming. Indonesia logs surge in foreign tourist visits. Sandiaga Uno discloses data. The Indonesian Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, Pak Sandiaga Uno, who else reported that about 7.4 million foreign tourists have visited Indonesia from January to August, an increase of 136% compared to the total foreign visits through 2022. He said in August 2023, foreign visits reached 1.132 million. This is in Indonesia, not just in Bali. He explained that the number increased by 1.02% compared to July 2023. Meanwhile, when compared to August 2022, the number has increased by 68.92%, exceeding the target set in early 2023, which was 7.4 million. You might remember that. And Pak Sandiaga said this proves the revival of tourism and the creative economy is starting to grow. The target of 7.4 million foreign tourist visits set at the beginning of the year was revised to 8.5 million at the middle of the year. And Pak Sandiaga said, "We still have 4 more months to go. So I'm optimistic that the target of 8.5 million foreign tourists can be exceeded by 10 to 20%, up to 10 to 11 million visits by the end of the year. Who are these foreign tourists? Well, in August 2023, they were dominated by Malaysians with 15.43%, followed by the Aussies. You're down to number 2 now, 11.39%, and Singaporeans with 9.31%. Pak Sandiaga Uno also said that the top destination remained Bali, which was evident, he said, by the increased number of foreign arrivals at the airport. He said 280.74% increase. Meanwhile, the number of foreign arrivals at Soekarno-Hatta Airport in Jakarta increased by 158.64%. So, tourists continue to flow into the island. Where are we putting them? As you know, I've been talking a lot about traffic recently and about the lack of public transportation. But there is the Trans Metro Dewata Bus. What about that? Let's take a look at that issue. Trans Metro Dewata Bus passengers are quiet. This is what the transportation agency says. Buses, which are predicted to be an integrated mode of transportation, are sometimes seen these days running without passengers. The head of Bali Transportation Service, Brigade Wayan Samsi Gunarta, said that the lack of passengers on the bus is because Balinese people are still in the adjustment period to using public transportation. I'll bet. Not a lot of public transportation down there. Up here in Singaraja, we still have BMOs and, of course, GoJet and all of that. He said he's optimistic that the Trans Metro Dewata Bus, TMD, can be developed better in terms of integration and connectivity so that more and more people will become interested in using the bus. The hope is that the 12% growth can be achieved evenly so that Trans Metro Dewata can actually be quite reliable, he said. Pak Samsi also sees that there are still many opportunities to increase the number of passengers. However, he has not been able to get employees of the government to use the bus while working, because everybody wants to drive their car or their motorcycle, of course. Apart from public transportation, Samsi also hopes to reduce emissions by using battery-powered based electric motorized vehicles. The Central Indonesian Transportation Community Organization, MTI, highlighted the construction of the Bali Integrated Highway, the LRT, which should be doing groundbreaking in early 2024. The LRT fare is proposed at $1 to $2 US, or 15 to 31,000 rupiahs. MTI is pessimistic that the Bali LRT will be popular even with the cheap fares. In Bali, the people have not yet become accustomed to using public transportation. Never mind the fares, even the cheaper ones. They just don't want to use them, according to Deputy Chairperson for Strengthening and Regional Development of the Central Transportation Society. He continued that the Bali provincial government, Pemprov, is very insistent that the LRT be built. He gave the example, however, of the Trans Metro Dewata Bus, TMD, which until now has had minimal interest. He said, "I don't think the local government cares. I've already given advice that there's no need to build the LRT in Bali because it's going to be expensive. And are people going to use it? I don't know. Tourists? Hopefully. Local people? Another question altogether." There's a voice against the LRT being built. He said it's not going to be used by locals. What do you think? And what about energy? ESDM, findings of potential gas resources in northern Bali waters explored. This is interesting. Head of Bali Manpower and ESDM Service, Ida Bagus Setiawan, said that the potential, according to information from the Directorate General of Oil and Gas, is that exploration is being carried out by BP, the oil and gas company from England. He said this means that the Bali provincial government is in a position to wait for the results of exploration. Therefore, there are stages that are going to be met here. After the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources stated that there was a potential gas treasure, which is thought to be up to 4 to 5 trillion cubic feet The Bali provincial government then carried out coordination and consultation, then awarded the contract to BP so that they could continue to explore the waters up off North Bali. I'm not sure where, hopefully not in front of my house, NIMBY, not in my backyard. We are waiting, he said, in a positive sense. If reserves are found in this potential, of course, the Bali provincial government hopes so, and Bali will be a main actor then, and it will have significant impact on the region. Yeah, if we have gas up here, we should get some money from it, hopefully. In the future, if gas resources in the waters north of Bali really exist in large quantities, then of course they will be exploited, he said. Moreover, for Bali, this is the first discovery because Bali only has sources of sandstone on the line. Well, we don't have mineral resources like over in Papua, for example, or in Sulawesi, or in the Malukus. Meanwhile, in Bali, on the mainland, there are no minerals. There's rock sand. In relation to minerals, it may be beginning that geographically Indonesia does have potential for mineral resources. Of course, we've got it all over the country. But the size and distribution of gas here needs to be studied in more detail. Previously, the Director General of Oil and Gas conveyed the potential of this gas resource. According to him, the findings are quite large. So what is going to happen there? What will happen to North Bali if we've got a major gas find off the coast here? Might be seeing what? The mythical airport. Might be seeing Disneyland. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Okay, drought is still a big issue, and if it wasn't for the fact that tomorrow is October 12th and there's commemorations for the victims of the first Bali bombing, the water crisis would be a main story, and so let's take a look at it. Clean water crisis threatens Bali. 3 northern regions experience extreme drought. According to the Center for Meteorology, Climatology, and Geophysics, BBMKG, in Denpasar, they have mapped the 3 regions in northern Bali that are experiencing extreme drought because it hasn't rained in 100 days. These 3 areas are Kubu, over on the coast, down on the way to Ahmed from here. Kubu Tambahan, down the road to the east, about 10 kilometers from here, and Gorogak, over there to the west. Kubu and Karangasem has not had rain for 100 days. Kubu Tambahan and Gorogak, both of which are in Buleleng, have not had rain for 99 days and 94 days, respectively. The extreme drought has caused a clean water crisis in these 3 regions. Residents have difficulty getting water for their daily needs, such as cooking, bathing, and washing. BBMKG Denpasar has also issued early drought warnings in 15 subdistricts, including 3 extreme drought areas that I mentioned. According to BMKG, data in the information coordinator, he said, please conserve water. Apart from that, people are also advised to be careful about forest and land fires because drought causes land to become dry and easily catch fire. The peak of the dry season in Bali is estimated to occur in July-August 2023. Well, that was past already, right? And this is influenced by the El Nino phenomenon. However, based on analysis by Meteorology, Climatology, and Geophysics Agency, El Nino, which triggers drought, will continue to remain at a moderate level until the period December, January, and February. So we've got another 4 or 5 months of this. The condition is expected to further worsen the drought conditions in Bali. BBMKG has also issued early drought warnings in 12 other sub-districts. The 12 sub-districts are in Buleleng, Sawan, Sukasada, and Buleleng, in Jembrana, Malaya, Bangli Regency, Kintamani District, Karangasem Regency and Karangasem District. In Badung, there's Kuta, North Kuta, and South Kuta, and in Klungkung, Nusa Penida, and Denpasar City. both in the east and the south. Even though still in the dry season, BBMKG Dempsar predicts that there's still a potential for rain from the 11th, the other day, up through the 20th of October. But it will be minimal rainfall and may only reach 49.5 millimeters. Not much. The areas that have the potential for rain in this brief period: Negara, Jembrana, Mandoyo, Bukatan, Sukasada, Tambuku, and Salat. So, bad news about the water and drought in Jembrana. BPBD urges residents to report water crisis. Drought is still hitting the Jembrana area, Bali, due to the long dry season. The Regional Disaster Management Agency, BPBD, urges residents to continue reporting if a water crisis occurs. The secretary said that so far his party has distributed 218,900 liters of clean water to the community. This has been going on since August 16th. He said there's 3 banjars in 3 villages where we still supply clean water regularly. In these 3 banjars, there's about 440 heads of family who are having difficulty getting clean water. He said every day we distribute 4,000 liters of clean water to those areas that need it. Apart from residents' homes, BPBD also supplies water to government agencies, including schools. He asked people who have difficulty getting clean water to immediately report to local village officials so that can be forwarded to BPBD. He said, we remain ready to help people who are experiencing a clean water crisis. We also urge people to save on clean water use. Times are not good right now. And with drought comes fire. The slopes of Mount Agung are on fire again. The forest on the slopes of Mount Agung, which is part of the Duku village in Kubu district in Karangasem, was on fire again yesterday, even though the fire was declared extinguished several days ago. Head of Karangasem Regency BPBD Emergency and Logistics Division said that the fire was seen burning on the slopes of the mountain, but the position was still far from residents' productive land. Only one spot of fire could be seen, he said. Until now, BPBD has only carried out monitoring because the location is quite difficult to reach. Apart from that, it's also not possible to extinguish it manually. Essentially, he said, we remain alert regarding fires that occur in the forest on the slope of Mount Agung. Considering that the weather is still scorching hot around the location, the potential for widespread fires is still very possible. Previously, the fire in the forest on the slopes of Mount Agung was declared extinguished last Wednesday, and this fire damaged 645 hectares of land. The fire also spread to productive areas of the land for residents who are living on the mountain. And so fires are breaking out around the island. There's more stories about fires. I'm not going to do all of them. And we had a fire here in Singaraja that, of course, caught my granddaughter's eye, who is always up like a good Indonesian girl for some drama, and especially for fires. And as soon as she saw the images, she was having lunch with me and 2 of my friends. And she said, can I go home? She wanted to go up in the roof to see it, to see the smoke. So how are we dealing with these fires? Well, we're having some problems because there's not enough fire equipment, at least in Buleleng. The Buleleng Fire Brigade is old and damaged. The Buleleng Fire Department, Damkar, often struggles to extinguish fires with less than ideal facilities and infrastructures. Among other things, there's a lack of fire posts and troops and fire trucks. The condition often overwhelms the Buleleng Fire Department. For example, when handling a fire in 4 blocks of shop houses on Jalan Nurai on Sunday. Was it Sunday? Oh, it was on Sunday. It wasn't Friday. Of the 7 fleets, the fire trucks belonging to the Buleleng Fire Department, only 4 could be used. 3 other fire engines were in the repair shop because they had some minor damage, and some fatal damage. Under these conditions, the fire department could only get 4 trucks to actually work at the fire. At the time, the fire engines had to go back and forth to fetch water for extinguishing the fire. This makes the process, well, take a long time. Luckily, the extinguishing process was assisted by an armored water cannon car belonging to the Buleleng police, not far from where the fire took place, actually. Head of the Buleleng Regency Fire Department said that current fire trucks are indeed old. He said they're as old as up to 2007. The 7 engines are spread across 3 Damkar posts, one in the main post here in Singaraja, one in Kubutamahan, and one in Surirat. The firefighting fleet is old, he said. However, we understand that the capacity in the budget is limited. With a minimal fleet, the Buleleng Fire Department works around all of this by forming volunteers, carrying out inspections, and training on the use of light fire extinguishers in business units around the city. Pak Suber said that Buleleng is quite large. It is a big place. Ideally, there should be 9 fire stations in the sub-districts. However, in actual fact, there's only 3. And as a result, fire trucks take a longer time to get to the location of the fire. He said the existence of fire stations in each sub-district would speed up fire handling. Currently, there are only the 3 firefighting posts, as I said. Ideally, he said, each sub-district should have 1 post, so most likely in 15 minutes, a firefighting engine can arrive at the location, and we don't need to bring in fleets from far away. At each fire station, he explained, ideally there should be 2 fire trucks, so Buleleng would need a total of 18. Buleleng also lacks firefighters. According to a study, Buleleng should have 720 firefighters for 9 sub-districts on standby 24 hours a day, but there's only 140 personnel. Wow, we are really understaffed. The acting regent of Buleleng emphasized that maintenance of the firefighting fleet has been budgeted for in the 2023 budget amendment. Regarding the procurement of a new fleet, he said he needs to look at the condition of the fleet. If we need it, maybe we can buy it, but if not, well, we don't need it. Let's go slowly. We'll have to take a look at it, he said, and see. Well, with this climate, the way it is recently, and fires breaking out everywhere, I heard the fire engines going a lot recently, and so we could use some new fire equipment, I think. Hopefully the acting Bupati will agree with that and get us some new equipment here in Bali. I know if we went up here, if we had a fire in Kampung Bugis right now, wow. We get 1 truck in here, not going to be anywhere near enough. Okay, that is it for today. If you saw the last video on dancing, I'll reply to those comments, but well, I'm still doing my work here and taking care of passport and immigration issues, and so trying to catch up with things. Thanks for viewing. Be kind to someone today. Stay safe, and I will see you next time, and let's hope for some rain